Okay, wood floor people, let's talk planetary machines. I get asked daily, Powerdrive or HG. I know that you've seen me operate both in the videos on my pages. Um, in a nutshell, HG i4 wood is by far the better machine. So, if that was the quick and simple answer you're looking for, that's all you need to hear. Get the HG. Um, in detail, I have had both, and it does probably appear that I currently do have both by the videos that you see me make, but I no longer have a power drive. I had one. I bought it in May of 2024 and ran it for like a year, and I barely ever ran it on anything but finish on a floor. And I don't mean refinish. I mean I would rough a floor, new install or refinish with my Hummel and my edger and get all of the finish off of the floor and get the floor flat, and then would put the power drive on it. Um, I use the machine this way for, like I said, since May of 24 up until September of this year. And it was all right. It clunked around. I always noticed that when you put the drive plate on the bottom of it and engage the machine, you could hear everything kind of clunk together to engage. And that's the design of the machine. Now, I used to be a machinist, and I went to school for automotive engine rebuilding, and I learned all about tolerances and manufacturing processes. And to me, when I see and hear all that slop in machine engagement, it tells me that metal on metal contact eventually creates friction or destruction. And all of that means that the machine, in my eyes, was not made to last. Now, I asked Bona to argue that point with me. I asked them to tell me where in this world that machine is manufactured, i.e., what continent and what communist or democracy or monarchy might that particular region be under at any given time when the machine was manufactured. But those questions weren't answered for me. I'll let you put that together. So, at any rate, cut to September. I'm running my power drive, September of this year, running my power drive on 80 grit with one weight on the floor I described. Finish had been removed. I'm just kind of flattening and getting ready to finish the floor. So I'm running 80 grit, one weight, and I hear the machine clunk more so than usual. And then I felt the weight of the head drop down. Like, what the fuck? So I back it off the floor and lay it down on the handlebars. And on the ground underneath me is like this little metal fragment, like about inch and a half, 2 inches round, bearing shaped perhaps. And it was like sheared. Excuse me, like you could see metal friction had sheared this off. The metal was mirrored, like it had been friction welded and sheared off. It wasn't a complete circle. It was obviously a piece of something. So I knew right away the machine's like, fuck Nextville. So I call my local distributor, Lanham Hardwood, and they're on scene within like an hour or two to pick up the machine to take it to get serviced. So I think. And I don't want to get too far into the minutia of all this because it really is pointless and just gets me upset. But Lanham had my machine for 3 weeks. In that time, the mechanic had been in contact with Bona, who at first told him, "Yeah, it sounds like the gearbox and drive shaft or whatever they want, drive assembly is broken. The owner of this machine is going to have to pay for a motherboard to be replaced to then replace the other things." Now, in my head, I'm like, why do I have to pay for the motherboard? It's obviously a mechanical failure, not electric. But I'm told it's like a couple $100. And I knew I had a new light on the machine. So I'm like, okay, if you're going to warranty the obvious mechanical failures and I cover the electric portion because I put the aftermarket light on the machine, I'm cool with that. So that was last I heard. I get a text from the manager at Lanham 3 weeks later saying, "Hey, your machine is back here. Where do you want me to drop it off?" And I was like, "Yo, that's awesome. They must have warranted the entire thing because I never got a bill for the motherboard. You can bring it to me on my job site." Manager responds kind of question marky, and this is where the drama starts. I call him. He said, "Hey, Ian, your machine wasn't actually fixed." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Yeah, they just sent it back here in the exact same condition that it was in, and by they I mean the Kentucky facility, which my Cincinnati distributor deals with, all in house. Sent it to Kentucky to get fixed. Kentucky sent it back to Cincinnati. Cincinnati called me 3 weeks later. Your machine wasn't fixed. I'm like, why? So here's the mums. And so I called the mechanic at Louisville, who I've dealt with for years. He's complimented me on how well I take care of my machines in the past, and he is mumbling. He doesn't know exactly what's wrong with my machine, but Bona's no longer going to warranty it. And since it's obviously fucked and I didn't buy it from Lanham, I now have to deal with Energist where I did buy it. Now, Energist has been abreast of this thing the whole time because Mitch there is my friend. And, I have been talking with him and keeping him in the line of communication for this whole process. So, where are we? I start dealing with Energist. Energist starts dealing with Bona. We get higher up the corporate ladder. I start making noise on social media during this time, as you guys noticed. I'm trying to get a hold of somebody at Bona. Nobody wants to get a hold of me. All of a sudden, after I make a couple posts saying, "Hey, Bona, fucking call me." And this whole time, I'm still out of a machine. This is like a month later. At this point, Lanham has my machine again. I'm dealing with the vice president of Lanham. I can't deal with managers anymore because they're all fucking dummies. So I'm dealing with the vice president who is now going to take my Powerdrive and get it to Bona personally. We're like 5 weeks in. So he does that. He gets my machine to Bona personally. Who's still, at this point, it's not under warranty. I'm a fucking asshole, blah, 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 blah. Bona's had it for like a week. I'm emailing around trying to get a hold of it. It's real clear to me that the left hand does not know what the right hand is doing at that corporation, as you find with many corporations. And that's, again, a problem with this country. There's a bunch of fucking dick smokers in polo shirts and, sports jackets that are making way too much money off of our back. So first of all, fuck you, because it's all your fault why all of us contractors would be in this position to begin with, because you decided to cut down the cost of that machine to line your fucking pockets. And now we're out here picking up the fucking pieces on the job site. So that's what pissed me off about Bona in general. So all of a sudden I get a call from a dickhead salesman with a real bad attitude. And he offers me a refund completely outright for my Powerdrive. And mind you, this is a almost 2-year-old machine, and it only has like 100 hours on it. But have you ever heard of that? A fucking refund? And I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? I'm out of a machine. I don't know who the fuck you are. I'm standing here on the job trying to sand the floor, and you want to give me my money back for the machine that I depend on for my livelihood? Fuck you. Give me your boss. So now I start another 2-week process where I'm dealing with other corporate fucks, left-hand, right-hand situation. Eventually, I get this really friendly salesman. I won't tell you his name, but you're welcome to go figure it out. He's worked there for like 30-some years or whatever. Real nice to deal with, but he's a fucking salesman. And obviously got to that position because he's a fucking salesman. And so Denver, Bona has my machine at this point. I'm dealing with this guy who blames that dickhead salesman, says he had no authority whatsoever to offer me a refund, but he did that out of the kindness of his heart, just this random salesman who's not even in my territory. My Bona salesman's too pussy to call me. So anyway, I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever, dude. How about you give me the diagnosis report officially from y'all and let me know what's wrong with my machine? So I start the process of waiting around for a week for a dude to give me that. I get it. And I'm going to figure out how to attach a document to this or something. But Mitch saw it. I've sent it to other people via DM. But essentially it reads that by the time Bona got this machine at their facility in Denver, it had been disassembled and reassembled incorrectly to the extent that there was bearings in the wrong spot and this, that, and the other thing. Now, Lanham claims they never took the machine apart or put it back together. They claim that when they discovered how fucked it was, just by simply pulling the cover off, they decided we're not touching it. It's Energist. situation. So, but also they got really mumbly. So here I am, broken machine. The diagnosis reads, it is definitely my fault. They won't come right out and say that because they're corporate pussies. But what it says is, by the time the machine made it to Bona, this, that, and the other thing had been already altered on it. Had not happened at the time of manufacturing. Now, mind you, I never put a fucking wrench on this machine. I bought it brand new. I sanded floors with it. It broke. I gave it to the fucking repair facility. So, somewhere in all that, I must have put the bearings in it wrong or something. I, had the gumption to take this fucking thing apart while it was broken and then pull parts from a shelf, I guess, that are extra for a fucking Powerdrive that I don't want to fuck with and put them in there and then send it off just to fucking fuck with all these guys. So, at any rate, it's all my fault, but yet, sales manager still says, I will, just out of the kindness of my heart, honor that refund that my buffoon of an employee just ham-handedly offered you that he should not have ever. But because I've got my employees back, I'll honor that refund, Mr. Cheadle, because I think that that's the best thing we could ever do for you. Now, I took the refund. I thought about not taking it for a while because what I wanted to do was get that machine back. And I wanted to put it in this shop and I wanted to take it all apart and compare it to the HG piece by piece by piece by piece. And I almost did, but it's Christmas time and my wife made the decision for me to take the fucking refund and not put that kind of heartache in our lives. And so that's what I chose to do. And so I've sat on it for a couple weeks now, trying to decide about how and when I would put this video out and how I would address it. And this video did start off as comparing the HG in terms of quality. And I said in the beginning, the HG is 10 fucking times better than the Powerdrive, and I will stand by that. And I will cut back to the very first thing I said about how when you turn the machine on, it clunks the fuck around on a Powerdrive. You engage the HG and it whirls up like a fucking jet engine because they properly designed the bottom and the gear assembly and everything to engage in a way that causes the machine to last for a while because everything's engaged right away. It's not clunking into position, causing metal to break and potentially fragment or shear off the bottom of the fucking machine. So you take all this for what you want. You can believe me or Bona as to who did what with the machine. I don't really give a fuck. I know at the end of the day, I got a full refund for an almost 2-year-old machine from a company that said I fucked it up. Seems strange to me. But at any rate, get an HG. Don't waste your time with that Powerdrive. I hate saying it. Maybe one day they'll make it better, but as of right now, as it stands, the Powerdrive is an absolute piece of shit. You heard me, Bona. Your machine is a piece of shit. I still use your abrasives sometimes. The green abrasives are okay, but I prefer Norton because my fucking friends work there and they don't fuck me like this and they don't accuse me of shit. They level with me and they're straight shooters. You are not. Bona are complete bullshitters. So, yeah, after I dealt with this whole situation, and I was even friendly with the sales manager, and I still am. I've got his email and stuff, and I promised him I wouldn't share our personal conversation here, as I'm not. But again, I think you're a liar. I think everybody you work with is a liar, and I think Bona are fucking scumbags. So, do something. HG, from what I gathered, is a much better company to deal with. They're still foreign to me in terms of they are not Americans sitting on American soil that I can sit here and have a face-to-face discussion with. So is that a problem? Not necessarily, but it's not great. What would I like to see done? I'd like to see all of us Americans get together and figure out how to make the fucking best sanding machines in the world and make them right fucking here. I know that's a lofty aspiration, and that's something that we could discuss at a later date, but as for right now, that's what I would like to see done, because I think the opposite of that has been done by some manufacturers in terms of where can we find in the world the cheapest manufacturing with the cheapest parts that could possibly get shit assembled upside down or incorrectly or, through a communist government. But that's not for me to figure out. That's for them to figure out and admit. But at any rate, once these piece of shit machines come off recall, and y'all are able to get your hands on one, I'm sure someone's still going to buy one. Please come to this video and let me know if they made the Powerdrive any better yet. And let me know if you got an HD and how fucking happy you are with it, because I know I love mine. They didn't pay me to say it. They didn't refund me for my machine. They're just some fucking funny Italian guys that repost my videos and me being a jackass with it. So that is the Bona and HG situation, motherfuckers. I love you. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, make sure you subscribe, because you are willing to sit and listen to my dumbass babble for 16 minutes. Love you.